Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. I forgot to mic up, so give me just a minute. We went to show real fast today. How are you this evening? Thank you for inviting us into your home. We're so happy to be with you. Oh my goodness, so much is going on. It's summertime and everything is busy and active and everybody's out at festivals and fairs and all the activities going on. Here in the studio, we're busy too, and I have brought just one more of the fantastic musicians from the area in tonight to play for you. One of the things that this musician does is he goes live on Facebook and does little shows pretty often. I see him almost twice, 3 times a week, and I'm not even on Facebook all that often. But he's doing some really great stuff. I like his music. I like his attitude, and I want you to help me welcome into your living room or bedroom, wherever you are tonight, Mr. Robert C. Fullerton.
Thank you.
It's unending. I think that changes must be pending, even though they are bending the bedrock of my life. It's unending. These mixed up signals you keep sending, frequencies are ending and driving in the night. Get to the end to find that there's still more. It's just a loop, runs right through my door and brings me back again. Said it brings me back again. I tried turning pages, but the stream of nonsense, it still rages. Seems I'm locked in my own cages, even though I hold the key. Keep seeing places I know I've been before, and it's just a loop that runs right through my door and brings me back again. Said it brings me back again. No matter how things change, still remain the same. Feel like a pawn caught up in a madman's game that brings me back again. Said it brings me back again. Yeah, it brings me back again. Oh, it brings me back again.
Thank you. I am Robert C. Fullerton, and it's good to be here. That was a song from my latest album called Back Again. This is a song written about this woman, and I had just told somebody about this the other day. I kissed her within 5 minutes of meeting her, and didn't get slapped, and by the end of the evening, she said, "Oh, what's some way I can keep in touch with you?" So this was the story of that. Let's just call it a romance.
When I first saw you, you were sitting there, right beside you, the only open chair. So I sat down, wishing you were mine. Then you happened to turn and look my way, and I found the right words to say, and I kissed you, and I knew I had to make you mine. I'll be relentlessly persistent. I'll do anything I need to do, like an arrow to its mark. I'm aiming for your heart. Woman, don't you know I love you? Be relentlessly persistent. I'll do anything I need to do, like an arrow straight and true. I'm pointed right at you. Never quit till you say you love me too. There was moonlight, there was Merlot too. There were songs, gifts I gave to you, trying to win your heart, all to make you mine, oh mine. There were candles, kisses beside the lake, notes and pictures. Do anything it takes, and when I hold you close, I know someday you'll be mine. I'll be relentlessly persistent. I'll do anything I need to do, like an arrow to its mark. I'm aiming for your heart. Woman, don't you know I love you? I'll be relentlessly persistent. I'll do everything I need to do, like an arrow straight and true. I'm pointed right at you. I'll never quit till you say you love me too. I'll be relentlessly persistent. I'll do anything I need to do, like an arrow to its mark. I'm aiming for your heart. Woman, don't you know I love you? Be relentlessly persistent. I'll do everything I need to do, like an arrow straight and true. I'm pointed right at you. Never quit till you say you love me too. Oh, I'll never quit till you say you love me too. Never quit until you say you love me too. Oh, I'll never quit till you say you love me too. Find a woman that will suit my mood is like looking for corners in an oval room. She might be out there, but I just can't seem to find her. Trying to find a woman that will meet my needs is like looking for roses in a field of weeds. She might be out there, but I just can't seem to find her. I search most everywhere. Somebody tell me, where can that woman be? Trying to find a woman that will always be there is like trying to help a bald man comb his hair. She might be out there, but I just can't seem to find her. Trying to find a woman that won't drive me insane. It's like drying dishes in the pouring rain. She might be out there, but I just can't seem to find her. I looked here, I looked there. Seems I searched most everywhere. Somebody tell me, where can that woman be? Trying to find a woman that won't shut the door is like buying groceries at a hardware store. She might be out there, but I just can't seem to find her. Oh, I can't find her. No, I can't find her.
Thank you. Yeah, kind of two different ends of the spectrum with that one. This is a story. Some of you will remember Ed McMahon, Johnny Carson's sidekick, but he also did a series of commercials for a sweepstakes back in the 80s and 90s, I think it was, and had a conversation with my neighbor at the mailbox, and he said something about expecting a package, and I said, yeah, I'm expecting someone to send me $1,000 in the mail, but he's not cooperating. And at that minute, the words popped into my head, Ed McMahon, would you please knock on my door? I need some money badly. Could you get it here by 4? This is Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, won't you please knock on my door? Need some money badly, could you get it here by phone? Our bank account is overdrawn, my bills are overdue. So, Mr. Ed McMahon, I really like you to come through for me. The Vikings showed up on my lawn, they said it's time to pay. But I used up my last card to pay the others yesterday. I told them they could take my car, they laughed, said that won't do. So listen, Ed McMahon, I really want you to come through for me. I buy me several tickets, I buy them every day. I take a shiny penny and I scratch off all the gray. If I win $5, I go and buy 5 more. Well, I'm waiting for your envelope to show up at my door, yeah. Yeah, I buy me several tickets, buy them every day. Take a shiny penny and I scratch off all the gray. If I win $5, I go and buy 5 more. Well, I'm waiting for your envelope to show up at my door, yeah. So tell me, Ed McMahon, why you not knocked on my door, and why I don't see you and Johnny on the TV anymore. But I still sit here waiting, guess I still believe in you. So hurry, Ed McMahon, I really need you to come through for me.
Thank you.
It's called Shoestring. Just $4 in my pocket, and I'm wondering how far it will take me from this place if I hop inside my car. I keep pulling up my bootstraps, somehow hide, living on a shoestring that's about to come untied. Suppose my mirror is enchanted, and all the things I see aren't even close to what they are. They're just what I wish they'd be. I keep pulling up my bootstraps, they somehow hide, living on a shoestring that's about to come untied. Maybe if I knuckle down and buckle down, I can move into a sweeter part of town. Lay down my plans and schemes, give up my dreams. Maybe I could get ahead. Well, I'm down to just 2 quarters, 3 nickels and a dime, that's 75 cents if you're interested. If a genie ever came my way, with my luck he'd charge me for his time. I keep pulling up my bootstraps, they somehow hide, living on a shoestring that's about to come untied.
Thank you. This is a fairly new song. Just very new and just finished. I actually started writing it 3 years ago. Wrote the chorus. Sitting out on my front porch on a late Sunday night, glass of wine in the hand, looking up at the moon, full moon and stars, and thinking about someone that wasn't there. And finished the last of it, I think about a month and a half ago. It's called Full Moon, Starry Night, Glass of Red.
Some Sunday after sunset, went out to gather in some air. Familiar feelings of a phantom far from here. Week, a month, year Still my thoughts all come back to you. Full moon, starry night, glass of red. Slowly the wine starts to fog my head. Still one thing seems to always burn through. My memories of you. My memories of you. Find myself losing sight of things unseen. Silent sound, summoning someone far from here. A sip of glass, carafe or two. Still my thoughts all come back to you. Full moon, starry night, glass of red. Slowly the wine starts to fog my head. Still one thing seems to always burn through. My memories of you. My memories of you. Time can't do what the miles have done. Can't undo what we've become. While wine may dull the thoughts of some, it always brings my mind back to you. Full moon, starry night, glass of red. Slowly the wine starts to fog my head. Still one thing seems to always burn through. My memories of you. My memories of you. My memories of you.
Thank you. This is a song that I know Gracie Day has been on this show before, and when I recorded this on an album, she sang with backup with me, and so this is a song called "She Takes Her Picture at Night," and she sends it to me. But
She takes a picture at night, and she sends it to me. But she takes it with no light, not even low light, so I can't see. She speaks in tones soft and low when I call her each day. And even though she speaks slow, she uses words I don't know, so I'll have nothing to say. She always keeps me guessing, but I don't learn my lesson. I let her keep on messing with my head, yeah. She has this drink she brews just for me. It's a specialty called ambiguity. She takes her picture at night. I said she always keeps me guessing. just for me. It's a specialty called ambiguity. She takes a picture at night and she sends it to me, but she takes it with no light, not even low light, so I can't see. Takes it with no light, not even low light, so I can't see. Yeah, yeah, she takes it with no light, not even low light, so I can't see. Oh yeah.
Robert, why don't you do a couple more and then come sit and talk to me?
Okay, sure.
I always thought they were invisible, celestial, ethereal. Perhaps they're what you may not see, to my world immaterial. Then one night in the middle of a crowded room was something I didn't expect to see. A being from another plane was standing right next to me. Elegance and grace, beauty in her face. I saw an angel. Saw an angel right next to me. Saw an angel, yeah, yeah, right next to me. She had no wings and no bright halo, was not adorned in gold or white. Head to toe, she was dressed in black, still celestial in her own right. Elegance and grace, beauty in her face. I saw an angel. Saw an angel right next to me. Saw an angel, yeah, yeah. Elegance and grace, beauty in her face. I saw an angel. Saw an angel right next to me. Saw an angel, yeah, yeah, right next to me. Saw an angel with elegance and grace. Saw an angel with beauty in her face. Saw an angel, yeah, yeah, right next to me. talk together. And if we talk, we might start to heal. When we heal, maybe we will think, perhaps we'll find a way to get along together without the hate and fear. Said if we walk together, maybe we will talk together. And if we talk, we might start here. When we hear, maybe we will think, perhaps we'll find a way to get along together without the hate and fear. Said when we heal, maybe we will think, perhaps that we'll find a way to get along together without the hate and fear.
Thank you.
Come on down.
Thank you.
Well, Robert's getting himself situated to come over and sit with me. Let's talk about some of the things up and coming. So on Thursday nights at a place called Daddy Jack's down on Bank Street, there's music, and it's usually a single singer-songwriter, and it's definitely a reason to get out and check out local music. Also, still going on at the Hygienic on Wednesday nights is Summer Flickers. I know that this past Wednesday they did the Never Ending Story. So they're definitely family friendly, and you can check out what's going on at hygienic.org. You can see what's going on there. And don't forget, coming up in September is the I Am Fest. Be prepared for that and be ready to check out all that is I Am. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Welcome to my show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, your music is, it stands out. It stands on its own.
That's good to know.
How long have you been writing your own music?
Really, in this present thrust, just about 5 or 6 years. I've been doing, I'd dabble, write a song, or I'd write the chords or something and the music for someone else. But really, yeah, just about 5 or 6 years.
Really, that doesn't seem like very long. You've got some good moves. Who are your influences?
Oh, geez. Musically, I grew up with Beatles. I grew up with Cream. But as far as songwriters, I love Paul Simon. His wording is brilliant. Thinking back today, name came up, Dan Fogelberg, back in the 70s, 80s, something like that.
Yeah.
All of those people from there, James Taylor, of course, those are the lyricists, that I think really inspire me, and I listen to them and go, oh, geez, I should quit.
Someone that I had sent to watch you had said that you remind them a little bit of Lionel Lovett.
Oh, okay.
So is he an influence of yours?
Yeah, well, I don't know that he's influenced, but I do love his music. And, Lyle Lovett, and who was the other guy that had the, he had that real deep voice, but still had that kind of, it's almost like a Texas influence to the music. Van Morrison, too, would be another.
Absolutely.
Great,
I see that.
That blue-eyed soul, they used to call it.
Right, right. So if you've only been writing your own music for 5 years, what did you do before music?
Well, I've always played music. I've been playing guitar since I was 12 years old.
All right. Let's start there then.
Okay.
When did you started playing guitar at 12? Who encouraged you to do that? And How was your inspiration then? What was your inspiration at that point?
Inspiration would have started with my parents, not direct encouragement, but they, my mother was a piano player in a little country church in Virginia.
Nice.
And so we always had something in the house to, kind of pound on. And my parents both sang around the house. I think we had the radio or the records on probably more than TV.
Good.
In those early years. Of course, there were only 4 channels on TV at the time too, but so yeah, they definitely, my mother and father would be big influences in that way. As far as the guitar, that was the thing to do for a young kid. Like I said, there was Cream, there was Jimi Hendrix, there were all those guys. So I asked for a guitar one Christmas. They got me one. I got a couple books and started teaching myself.
You started teaching yourself. Did you ever get any formal lessons?
Later on, more music theory than guitar lessons. A lot of it was sitting around, going places like coffee houses. This was the 70s.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Sitting with older players and playing along, and then during a break or afterwards, and going, whoa, what was that thing you did? Show me this. What did you do there? I love that chord. Just natural curiosity and not afraid to ask.
Coffee houses were big in the 70s. Isn't there? They're back now. Are you playing any coffee houses recently?
I don't think. I would love to get more into them because I love the vibe of that. I'm playing Clicolo, I think it is, in Middletown at the end of this month. So that's that. Same kind of thing. But even like a lot of church buildings are having music series. Those are the kind of things you love to get into because those buildings were designed for sound.
Yeah, they were.
And to play in them they're great spots.
Where are some of the places you're playing now? Where can people see you right now if they wanted to get out and see you playing live?
Coming up, I've got like 8 gigs in the next week and a half or something like
that. Okay, so considering that this show is airing on the 20th, which is Saturday.
Okay.
You have to start after Saturday.
Right. Saturday. Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday afternoon, I'm playing at the Hamburg Fair.
Nice.
In Lyme. I think I'm on around 1 o'clock. It's actually part of, it's called the Best of Open Mic show.
Nice.
I think there are 5 of us on within that afternoon. So I'll be there that following week. Oh, geez. I'm doing a radio program out in Pawling, New York.
Nice.
Thursday, I am in Plainville, Connecticut, Central Cafe. Friday night at the Rusty Nail in Torrington. And then this is the other side of the state, but Saturday I'm at the Jamboree at the JCC in Sherman, Connecticut, which is just above Danbury, with Gracie Day.
With Gracie Day. We love Gracie Day. She's been on my show before. She's coming back, too.
Nice.
Gracie Day, just for the record, Gracie Day will be coming back to Grandma's Attic Music Review in mid-fall. So that's something to put on your calendar in a roundabout way and keep watching for because she will be back and she
is talented. She really is.
On this album, she's actually on this album with you. Can we get a shot of this? This is your latest album. You got that? Oh, it's hard to see.
Yeah, you probably have to take the cellophane off of it.
We can do
see
that.
It there. Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
This is Robert's latest album. It's called Let It Rain. Tell us a little bit about this and where people can find it besides seeing you out live. Can they get it other places?
Yeah, absolutely. One is they can go to my website, which is rcfullerton.com.
Okay.
And there's a link, a PayPal link there.
Okay.
All my songs are also on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. I think I have like 23, 24 songs up.
Nice.
And this one I actually finished recording it probably around the end of 2014, but didn't get it released until
recently.
About 3 months ago. I'm actually ready to go back in the studio.
You were doing some self-promotion around this big time.
I was
watching that.
I don't know if you saw the other day, I stood in the pouring rain, actually, with the Facebook Go Live and said, as the rain was pouring in my head, this is a good opportunity to remind you to check out my album, Let It Rain.
That's awesome.
I had already been caught in the rain, so it didn't matter,
Yeah, well, getting wet for a new CD is never a bad thing.
Yeah. So
tell us a little bit about some of these songs, because 2 of them you are doing with other people. Angela Luna.
Are you familiar with her?
I am.
Yes.
I am. I haven't had her on my show yet, but I'd love to get a hold of her and have her come in. Where do you find these women?
Dangerous
Careful,
question. Dangerous,
careful,
dangerous
careful.
question. Angela Luna, I met probably about 5 years ago at an event in Hartford at the Russian Lady. And she's a strikingly beautiful woman.
She's
and
absolutely
I
amazingly
turned
beautiful.
and was like, yikes, I have to introduce myself to this woman. And so I did, and found
Did
out.
you know she was a musician?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. We were there. It was a friend had a fashion show there, and there were several people there for other things like that. And so I talked with her, and then I didn't find out till about a month later that she was a musician when she invited me to come hear her play.
Wow.
And that's, I had the song in mind that she sings on this. It's called Phoebe, which is Phoebe is a type of bird.
Yep.
And because it sounds like it's saying Phoebe, and I was at the lake and I kept hearing it call, and all of a sudden I realized I'm not hearing an answer. And so I wrote this song speculating why Phoebe never answers. It's not a happy song.
No, I guess it wouldn't be.
And then, I had wanted Angela to do something, and so I asked her about this song and sent her, a basic track from it, and she agreed. And it wasn't until later till one of my friends interviewed her as, hype for the album, that she works with birds. She is an animal, like a bird rescuer.
So isn't that how the universe works?
Yeah,
anyway.
it was like, that was, again, it was so amazing. And she's, lovely voice too. Gracie, I met at an open mic, and this was several years ago when she was first starting out in this area, and I told her, after hearing her sing and the song she chose, I said, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
You belong like really performing somewhere. And we didn't actually connect again until a half a year or a little more later, and where someone else said to her, you need to work with that guy.
Nice.
So, it's been good. I also have Isaac Young plays on here
love
from
him.
Photosynthesis.
I absolutely love him.
He plays the B3 on the title cut and on Shoestring that I did
What
here
an
earlier.
absolutely amazing young man.
Oh, he is.
He's fabulous.
And he's great to watch. I love watching him play.
He's very charismatic. Where did you find him?
Mutual friends, I think. It was just hanging out in the Hartford area music scene. Again, I've known him probably about 5 years. When he was still playing as the Isaac Young Quartet, and now it's Photosynthesis.
Doing jazz.
Yeah. And so met him through just this music scene, meeting mutual people. Atticus Kelly from the McLovins, and he also plays with Kate Callahan, plays on a couple songs on here.
So you're just pulling musicians in from all over the place.
Well, it's people that, and I had a bunch of other people singing that no one would know, but they were people from my past, either from like, I taught at a school for a while, so I had a couple people come that had been students of mine that I knew sang. A friend of mine who's a songwriter and has been writing for years, kind of reclusive, I had him come in and sing. So, yeah.
Now, if you had a songwriter come in, have you used any of his songs?
No. So far it's like, with my limited budget, I love some of his songs. If people want to find Steve Vizzolo's music, it's some amazing stuff.
We love him.
Oh, you know Steve? Oh, okay. I've known Steve since longer than I want to admit I've been alive. And,
he's been doing things for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in some rock and roll bands back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Now, have you been in any bands per se? I only know you as a solo musician. So, what else have you done?
For a while, I'll go backwards.
Yeah, why don't you?
Before this, I was involved in jazz for a while, and
Nice.
I had a quartet that we only played like 2 or 3 times a year. But it was a great stretching experience for me, just the different style, and I'd fallen in love with jazz. So that was probably for about 10 years. I taught, and I was a choral director at a private school out in north central Connecticut.
Nice.
I used to do church music. My ex and I wrote music and did coffee. She did most of the writing, and especially the lyrics, back in the day. I was in a band actually with Steve Vizzolo and a couple other people. This would have been like 1980. And we lasted
Back in the day.
We lasted. I think we lasted about 2 years and performed twice. But again, I've kept up contact with Steve. He's a great guy. I love him. He's a tremendous writer.
What do you think is going on with the jazz movement nowadays? Do you see what's going on with it, or do you have any idea?
You know,
And how do you feel about that?
I'm not that directly into it. You know, I hear enough because I'm focusing now on more
Singer-songwriter stuff.
yeah. And you know, there is the progressive stuff like Isaac and those guys are doing that, which is great stuff because it will pull in people that aren't traditional jazz lovers.
Right.
You know,
And I don't know if you know Oris Jenkins. He's been on my show. Check his stuff out because he's an amazing young man, and he's he just put out a brand new jazz album, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him go as far as jazz will take him.
Yeah.
You know, he's that good. I'd like to see him
There
make a name
is,
for himself.
I mean, there's some great jazz. I go into Hartford during the summer every Monday night for the free concerts on Bushnell Park, and there are a bunch of local people involved in that. Mike Casey, a young saxophone player.
I know Mike Casey.
Okay, yeah. Doug Wimbish played the other night. He was the final one for the season. That was like amazing. You know?
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being in Hartford, you get to see and hear a lot of things. Have you been able to play at Black Eyed Sally's?
I have not yet. I have not
Get
yet.
in there. Get in there and do a gig. It's a great venue, and it's fun to play there, and it's built for music. It's really built for music.
I've been in there to see other people, and but it's
yeah.
definitely a place I'd like to get into.
Where do you see yourself going from here?
Where would I love to go? I'd love to sell a song or two.
Nice.
You know, get it licensed for a, like a commercial or a movie. I've got several songs that people listen to where they go, "Oh, that sounds like something that should be in a movie." There's one in particular that I don't play out a lot because it doesn't always fit the setting. It's called First Church of the Tambourine.
Okay.
You know, the trees have started walking. That people say, "Whoa, those sound like they should be in a movie or something." I'd love to do that. You know, I'm not young, but I still would love to be able to support myself doing nothing but music.
Well, considering that old is not old anymore.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't.
I refuse to consider myself old.
You know.
You know, I won't. Even though I'm a grandmother of 9. Now, you were a teacher for a while. Do you see yourself going back into that at all?
Oh,
No?
I mean, I like the connection you make, but it's time consuming. And it's energy consuming. I work in a school now. I work as a para. I work with kids with learning disabilities.
Yep.
But I can leave. You know, end of the day, I leave and I leave it behind.
Yeah.
The hours are different. So now I can put my energy into music,
And I
is
see
into
you doing
performing,
that.
which is where I want to do what I want to do. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what you do up on Facebook. Talk about the concept that you've pretty much created, because you're the first person I've seen really make a series, so to speak, out of what you're doing. So talk a little bit about that.
Social media is necessary.
Nowadays,
now.
yes, it really
in every
is.
aspect of, even just like with Twitter, you know, the simple short blasts. It's the Facebook Live, and actually I have to give credit to Jay Cherry or Jennifer Schaefer Woods, that she's one of the ones I saw using it a lot, just little short blips before she'd go on the air. She'd just, you know, or at a concert, she'd just stand there and say, "Hey, we're getting ready to go live, blah, 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 blah."
But you do whole songs.
Yeah, to do a whole song, there was it was after, that Orlando incident. What was that, like 2 months ago, I think?
Yeah.
That tragedy that I know hit a lot of us. And
It
so
really did.
I just went on and I set up, you don't need a lot. I took my phone, put it on a tripod, and I just recorded an introduction talking about, you know, hate, you know, and because some people react to hate with more hate, they react to fear with more fear.
Right.
And I did, after an introduction, I said, what was that song? Put a Little Love in Your Heart, Jackie DeShannon's song. You know, to do something like that is just, it gets people to hear you that wouldn't normally maybe come out to a gig to hear you. And then once they do hear you, they might go, "Oh, maybe I should. You know,
Maybe
get
I
to a
should
gig.
get
I'd love
out."
to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
more of his stuff, you know."
Yeah.
Or they'd go out and check out, you know, the iTunes or something like that.
Right, right. So you're a master of self-promotion. What do you think gives you that drive?
Survival. I get tired of peanut butter and peanut
Really?
butter and bologna and cheese sandwiches.
Ew.
No,
Well,
not altogether.
not all together. Yeah, well,
No,
that's a good thing.
it's, I want to survive at this. I want it to be what I'm known for. I want it to be
Mm-hmm.
what I do, and I can't afford to pay somebody else to do it.
Right.
Is part of the big thing. So, yeah, it's just you get out and you make yourself known, and you first of all, I mean, you practice to be good. You practice
do.
to be good, and then you have to believe in yourself. And
Well,
then
you absolutely believe in yourself. I see that in everything you do. I see that
Thank
in the
you.
way that you promote yourself and in the way you put yourself out there. So you definitely have that going on.
As long as it doesn't come off as arrogance, I'm keeping myself busy,
You are
and,
keeping
yeah.
yourself busy and putting music out there that people want to hear. I really enjoy your music.
Oh, thank you.
It took a lot for me to reach out to you and get you to come on my show. I'm, believe it or not,
Yeah.
a little shy, believe it or not.
I do. I think a lot of us who are on the stage or in the limelight really are introverted, and at times are shy, very shy.
Yeah, I have to be on stage or out there to actually put that mask of out there on.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have one more question for you,
Sure.
and then I'm going to let you go take us out with a song. God has decided to leave you and 12 children here on this earth. How are you going to teach them to carry on the tradition and the heritage of music? That's all that's left is you and 12 kids. What are you going to do with that?
And instruments.
No, there's
yeah.
nothing left. There's
Well,
nothing
I mean,
left.
it comes down to singing. Then, I mean, singing is the natural. It is the instrument. I don't know. Maybe you'd have to live life, have opera day or something, or musical day, where every day you just sing something, or you can't talk. You have to sing.
Nice.
I mean, I did teach chorus for a while. I mean, teach harmony.
Teaching harmony would be such a good thing. I don't think kids know that anymore. I don't think they're taught
It's
that.
not as popular, and it's funny. I saw a video clip. I wish I could remember where it was from. At an open mic somewhere, it was 3 young ladies, and one guitar and singing harmony, and trio harmony. Is
It's amazing.
and
It is.
I love classical music too. I
do
love
too.
the old choral music. It's
I do too.
there is something about harmony. So yeah.
It will serve you well when you come
Yeah.
on my radio show to like classical, because I
Yeah.
open my radio show with
Nice.
classical. So if you would be nice enough to honor us with a song and take us out. Thank you so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
on Grandma's Attic Music Review. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
I'll have
right.
you back soon.
Oh, that sounds good.
So while Robert gets over there and gets ready to take us out with the song, let me remind you that we here in New London County have some great privately owned businesses. If we support businesses that are owned by our neighbors and our friends, we're keeping the money that they make here in our community, and that's so important. Those big box shops don't care about you and your neighborhood. Your mom and pop shops do. So shop local, keep it local. Until next week, everybody, God bless and have a really great week. Bye-bye.
I mentioned this song, so I may as well sing it. This is called "The Trees Have Started Walking," which is about something. I'm not sure.
The trees have started walking, they're sneaking up from behind. The trees have started walking now. The sky is growing darker, it troubles my feeble mind. The sky is growing darker now. The planet is spinning backwards, going back to yesterday. The planet is spinning backwards now. The sun is glowing purple. To see it, you have to pay. The sun is glowing purple now. She said it's consequential. I said it must be more. starts to yawn. The tigers are playing checkers now. My coffee table is ringing, it's kept me up since dawn. Coffee table is ringing now. She said it's providential, I said it's rather odd. She told me she'd cook breakfast, but just forgot, The moon has left the building, she has to be home by 10. The moon has left the building now. The trees are getting closer, they're trying hard to win. The trees are getting closer now, getting closer now, really closer.